She left. No grand farewell, no clear explanation. Just absence, sudden and absolute. And now, in the spaces where her laughter used to live, there's only silence. You replay conversations, decode glances, try to trace back the moment it all fell apart. You tell yourself, if I had done this differently. You try to rewrite the past with regret as your pen. But the pages don't change. Only your suffering deepens. Chapter 1. The silence after she's gone. Marcus Aurelius, a man raised among emperors and scholars, lost more than most. He buried children. He watched his wife slowly fade from illness. He bore the weight of a crumbling empire while battling his own deteriorating health. But never once did he allow loss to master him. Because the Stoic path is not about escaping grief. It's about meeting it with reason, discipline, and unwavering presence. Right now, you feel hollow. Because somewhere along the way, you began to believe that she completed you. That her presence gave meaning to your days. So her absence feels like the removal of your very identity. But Marcus would say, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's not that you shouldn't feel anything. It's that your freedom depends on how you choose to respond. And you still have that choice, even now, especially now. Pain whispers, you were not enough. She found someone better. You'll never feel that alive again. But Marcus Aurelius would see through that illusion. He would recognize those whispers not as truth, but as impressions ephemeral and subject to reason. He wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. In other words, your heartbreak is not about her. It's about your interpretation. It's about attachment. About the meaning you've given her in your internal universe. And meaning can be redefined. That is your Stoic responsibility and your path to liberation. The first lesson in Stoicism isn't how to heal. It's where to stand while you're bleeding. Marcus stood in what he called his inner citadel, a mental fortress no loss could breach. You can build that too. Not to shut the world out, but to remain unbroken. When the world tries to tear you apart, you are not at the mercy of her absence. You are not the victim of emotion. You are a mind capable of clarity, endurance, and profound peace, even now. Chapter 2. The illusion of completion. You told yourself she was the one. Not just someone you loved, but the missing piece. The answer to your chaos. The calm to your storm. The proof that you were lovable, worthy, whole. And so when she left, it wasn't just heartbreak. It was collapse. Because you didn't just lose her. You lost the story you had built around her. The story that she completed you. And that's the most dangerous illusion of all. Marcus Aurelius would call this what it is. Attachment to externals. And in Stoicism, that's the root of suffering. He wrote, never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Clinging to someone so tightly that their absence unravels your dignity is to hand your power over to something that was never truly yours. We confuse love with possession. We think she was mine, but no human being belongs to another. That idea breeds pain the moment life refuses to obey your script. In Meditations, Marcus reflects, receive without pride, let go without attachment. She entered your life freely, and she left it by the same law. If your peace depended on her staying, then what you had wasn't peace, it was dependency. And dependency is the soil where suffering grows. Marcus constantly reminded himself to question desire, to investigate whether what he craved truly served his nature. Because not every longing is wise. Not every attraction is a sign of truth. He wrote, the things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Ask yourself honestly, were you in love with her? Or with the version of yourself you imagined in her presence? Did you love her freedom, her will, her essence? Or did you simply love how she made you feel safe, seen, wanted? Stoic love is not grasping nor dependent. It honors the other's autonomy. It understands that to love well is to love without trying to control. When we lose someone we idolized, we are not just mourning the person. We're mourning the loss of our own imagined salvation. The fantasy that they would fix us. But that burden was never theirs to carry. It was never their role to save you from your emptiness. That's your task. And always was. Marcus saw relationships as part of nature's design, temporary, purposeful, and sacred. But he never begged the universe to preserve them. He wrote, "Don't hanker after what you don't have. Instead, fix your attentions on the finest and best that you have, and imagine how much you would long for these if they weren't in your possession. You had her, and now you don't. That is the nature of all things in flux. The Stoic doesn't curse fate. He cooperates with it. He lets go not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. Your heart is still tangled in her image. That's normal. It means you cared, but Marcus would urge you to begin the untangling, not to become cold, but to become clear. To understand that no person is the source of your value, and no absence has the right to dictate your peace. Let go not to forget her, but to remember yourself." Chapter 3. The alchemy of pain right now. Everything hurts. The mornings feel heavier. The nights stretch endlessly with questions, regrets, and imagined conversations that will never happen. You wonder, how long will this last? When will I stop thinking about her? But the Stoics would respond with a more radical question. What if this pain is here to serve you? Marcus Aurelius didn't romanticize suffering, but he knew its potential. He saw it as fire, terrible and consuming if left wild, but transformative when harnessed with discipline. He wrote, "Just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment, and works around it, turning it to its purpose, so too can the mind transform adversity into fuel." This isn't just poetic metaphor. It's a challenge. What will you do with this heartbreak? Right now, your soul is being placed in the forge. Every pang of longing, every memory that stings, every doubt that creeps in at night, that is the hammer striking red-hot metal. And you have two choices: melt into despair, or be shaped by it into something stronger. Marcus knew loss intimately. He endured the deaths of loved ones while ruling an empire teetering on collapse. He could have surrendered to grief or distraction. Instead, he wrote. He reflected. He turned inward and refined the only thing no fate could touch: his character. Misfortune nobly born is good fortune. Marcus Aurelius, this pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. And its lesson is this: you are not what happens to you. You are what you choose to become because of it. Heartbreak reveals. It strips away illusion. It shows you what you clung to, what you feared losing, what stories you told yourself about love, worth, and permanence. Pain unmasks. That's why the Stoic doesn't run from it. He sits with it. He listens. He asks, "What is this trying to show me?" Marcus said, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. This isn't cruelty. It's a reminder of your strength." Most people never choose to grow. They only react, avoid, distract. But you've been invited to deepen, to become something rare in this world, a person who suffers consciously. You may feel like you're drowning in this pain, but Marcus would remind you, you have within you the strength to rise above it all. The fire cannot consume you unless you believe you are the flames. You are not the sorrow. You are not the memories. You are not the void she left behind. You are the one who observes all of it, the one who remains, the one who can choose how to carry this. You are bleeding now. But Marcus would not urge you to rush the healing. He would tell you to look closely at the wound, because one day you'll look back and see that it wasn't just where you were hurt, it was where you were remade. Pain isn't just something to survive. It's something to use, not to become bitter, but to become better, and you are already becoming. Chapter 4. Freedom in the midst of suffering. When she walked away, it felt like everything slipped from your hands. Your plans, your peace, your identity. Suddenly, you found yourself adrift, as if someone else had seized the steering wheel of your life and left you in the backseat, watching it crash. But Marcus Aurelius would remind you of a fundamental Stoic truth. You never had control over her, or the outcome, or the future. What you did have, what you still have, is control over your own mind. And that, according to Stoicism, is where all freedom truly begins. He wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. You feel trapped by her absence. But the real prison is your thoughts about it, and that prison has a key within you." Marcus taught that suffering is not in the event. It is in the judgment we attach to the event. You didn't just lose someone. You judged the loss as unbearable. You believed that her departure meant something about your worth. You interpreted her silence as a verdict. But none of that is fact. They are impressions, mental constructs. He wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." This is the moment of reclaiming. Not a verb, but a view. In Stoic thought, one of the most powerful tools is the discipline of assent, the ability to question every thought before accepting it as truth. You think, "I'll never find someone like her again." But have you tested that thought? Have you examined its roots, its logic, its truth? You think, "She was the only one who truly understood me." But is that statement wisdom or just wounded longing? Marcus would pause, reflect, and ask, what is within my control in this moment? If a thought weakened him, clouded him, or distorted reality, he would reject it. You must learn to do the same. Not because it's easy, but because your mind is the only kingdom you were ever meant to rule. The Stoics spoke often of the inner citadel, a metaphorical fortress where your rational mind stands, untouched by external storms. It doesn't mean you become numb. It means you become anchored. Heartbreak tries to sweep you away. Grief howls like a violent wind. But deep within, there is a place where clarity remains, if you are willing to descend into it. Marcus wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is the Stoic paradox. You find true power, not by controlling others or fate, but by mastering your own responses. She left, but your integrity remains. Your discipline remains. Your character remains. And with those things, you are never without direction. Freedom is not found in getting her back. Freedom is found in no longer needing her to come back in order to feel whole. This is not emotional detachment. It is emotional sovereignty. She took nothing that was truly yours. What's yours, your virtue, your reason, your will cannot be touched without your consent. So give none. And you will walk through this fire not as a victim, but as one who remembers you are not broken. You are becoming unbreakable. Chapter 5. Becoming the man who can let go. You've mourned her. You've faced the silence. You've questioned your thoughts, burned illusions, and stared deeply into the furnace of grief. Now comes the most Stoic question of all. Who are you? Becoming because of this? Marcus Aurelius never avoided the storms of life. He stood in them, not to prove his strength, but to practice his philosophy. Because in the end, Stoicism isn't just a theory. It's a way of being, a way of moving, through suffering with clarity, of choosing meaning over victimhood, of holding yourself to a higher standard not because life is fair, but because you are capable. And now, you're standing on that threshold, not healed, but whole enough to begin again. With your dignity intact. The truth is, you may never get the apology. She may never explain why. You may never fully understand what changed or when. And that's okay. Marcus would remind you, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. Instead, be concerned simply to do what nature demands. Your task is not to solve her mystery. It is to fulfill your nature, to live with wisdom, to rise with discipline, to give love freely, but never allow your peace to depend on another's presence. The Stoic ideal is not lovelessness. It's not cold indifference. It is the ability to love fully, honestly, and with grace, while being ready, at any moment, to release what must go. Marcus wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. You can love again, not with desperation, but with wisdom. Not from emptiness, but from fullness. Because you no longer seek someone to complete you. You are becoming complete within yourself. What remains is you, not the broken version, not the version that clung or begged or doubted, but the version who has looked pain in the eye and refused to become bitter. The version who knows how to let go with dignity. The version who has chosen to walk the long road of healing, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Marcus would ask, what is it in your power to do now? And your answer must be, to become the kind of man who no longer needs her. Return to feel free, to feel worthy, to feel whole. This heartbreak may feel like an ending, but in truth, it is only the moment your story changes shape. This is your origin story, not your defeat. The Stoic doesn't seek a painless life. He seeks a purposeful one. And pain, paradoxically, is one of its most powerful sculptors. Let it carve away what is false. Let it reveal what is resilient. Let it burn off dependency, illusion, self-pity. And what will remain will be someone worthy of peace, worthy of love, worthy of freedom. She left, but you stayed. And now you rise, not because she returns, but because you remember who you are. As Marcus Aurelius would do, stand tall, breathe deeply, let go without bitterness, and walk forward, not as someone abandoned, but as someone awakened. What Marcus Aurelius taught wasn't cold detachment. It was inner strength, a strength that grows not despite pain, but through it. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Stoic Alchemist. Activate the bell and join a community that transforms suffering into power. Because in the chaos of life, your true weapon is your unshakable mind.